If I had cancer, they tell me to pray and go see my oncologist.
Mm-hmm.
If I got high blood pressure, they tell me to pray and do what my doctor told me to do.
But if I'm depressed,
it's a demon, and I need prayer. Men died by suicide 3.9 times more than women. That's almost 4 times as much as women.
And these are 2021 stats?
These are 2021 stats.
So you realize that 2019, 2020, COVID-19 here, these guys had to stay at home with their wives for a whole year.
If I'm mad that you won't let me do what I want to do in all levels, and then when I get there and I dominate, then my own people look at me and go, "You left us here." Right. Nigga, I didn't leave you, nigga. I thought this was the goal.
Because the thing is, we knew that we was gonna fucking dominate. We was better than them before. As a man, if you can't take care of yourself, you don't deserve no coochie.
I agree.
That's to me. If you can't support yourself, you know, the last thing you need to be worried about is getting laid.
Listen to what I'm saying to you, though. Number one, the only reason I agree with that statement is because doing that could possibly produce a child that you can't take care of. What up? You hear the theme music, you see these beautiful faces, you know what time it is. It's the Let's Get Canceled podcast. I am your boy Tech, your favorite friendly, lovable loudmouth.
And I am Thommy with an H. I'm the voice of the people. I speak for y'all. Hey, yo, cousin.
Yeah, what up?
You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
Let's get
canceled.
All right, so listen, y'all. Tonight we got a good show for y'all tonight, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in with us. So, first of all, we want to give y'all an update, okay? We are quickly approaching our 1-year anniversary, all right? 1 whole year y'all been rocking with us, and we really appreciate that. July 20th, we're together. We are going live. That will be our last show, our 12th live show. That'll be where we going to tap all them bottles. You see them bottles behind him. We're going to tap all them bottles. We're going to try and have as many of our guests who have been with us from the beginning. Everybody who decided to drop in. Some people have been in the live audience. Some people have called in, been on camera. Some people have been here in person and done interviews with us, man. We want to show our appreciation to all of them. So we're going to make sure that we try and get as many of them as possible in the building. but about that building. We trying to do
Mm.
this a big party because there's something else going on. You remember what's going on the 20th, right? Besides our show, you know what
See,
it is?
I remember. I remember.
Yeah. See, that is the day that Mike Tyson kills a white boy. That's what that's what's gonna happen. You understand what I'm saying? So Mike Tyson's already been to jail for a lot of
Stuff.
different things. All right, we're
Stuff.
just gonna leave it at
This is stuff.
that. But that's the night that Mike Tyson kills a white boy. So we gonna make sure that we have that going. We gonna give y'all a live play-by-play, blow for blow, as only Tech and Thommy can.
It's gonna be an extended show because I'm pretty sure that the fight's not gonna start until about 9, 10 o'clock, and so we may just start at 8 o'clock, put it on live, let y'all see all the goings on, and then once the fight
Yeah.
starts, we'll get back there and get going. We're gonna have folks at the pool. We're gonna have drinks. We're gonna have food. It's gonna be a party. So
Oh, it's a party.
if
Because you know
you
what? We want to make sure that we talk to everybody who's there too. So we're gonna have a lot of different people on camera. We're gonna have a lot of different things going
there's
on,
gonna be a
man.
lot of stuff going on that day. It's just gonna be, hey,
Yickety!
you just get to
And
watch
it's
it.
gonna
I know
be
y'all. What's that?
oh, it's gonna be a lot of
What's
drinking.
that? What's that? Big Brother After Dark, where they just have the cameras up there and just let you watch it and see what's happening. You might get a little bit of after dark action going on out here at the crib. You know what I'm saying? You'll see some folks doing some things that you like. I think I know them. I might know it. It might be somebody you know. So tune in, and if you can make it, slide.
Hey, we will as we get closer, we'll give y'all a location, and we'll actually what we'll do, we'll give you a phone number because we're not
No,
just gonna drop a location. We'll give
nah.
you a phone number to call when if you want to come. We'll tell you what city it's in. You get to that city and then call, and then we'll tell you how
Straight
to.
up. Straight up. Just slide through. Just slide through. But
Yeah,
it's going to be a party and it's going to be a good time for everybody. So y'all definitely come check us out. It's going to be a lot of drinking, a lot of eating, a lot of laughs. As you see what we do on here anyway, we're going to have a ball anyway. So come join us. Come get to know us. You know
and
what I'm
that's the
saying?
goal, man. We just want to show our appreciation to everybody. We'll have food, we'll have drinks, we'll have a good time, man. So we again, y'all, thank y'all so much for rocking with us this long, and you don't want to be missing when it comes to the second season.
And
Trust me.
if nothing else, come watch the fight. If nothing else, come watch the fight. You can sit
Go
off
watch
in
the
the
fight.
corner, you can watch the fight, and you can decide who you cheering for. And unfortunately for me,
If
I
you
have.
cheering for the wrong person, I hope you can swim. Let me put it like that. If you cheering for the wrong person, I hope you can swim. All
There,
right.
there it is. There it is. There it is.
Yeah. So listen. So that's coming up, man. But tonight, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to touch on a little bit of the women's basketball tournament. Yes, we know the guys had a tournament too, but
You don't care.
nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cared, man. We were just watching the girls do their thing, man, and they did their thing. We're going to touch a little bit. Pause. No Diddy. We're going to touch a little bit on Diddy and on Jonathan Majors, man. We had one of those stories had some developments. The other one, not so much.
Not so
And
much.
then we are going to talk in depth about the sensation that has been quiet on the set. All right. And as always, man, we'll give y'all a little piece of the game before we leave here. So, first up, I'm gonna turn this over to the voice, man. Hey, Thommy with an H, man. Talk to me about this women's tournament, man.
All right. So, as y'all know, Caitlin Clark had her coronation. Well, we thought it was going to be her coronation. And unfortunately, for some, fortunate for others, the South Carolina women's basketball team did the big one and got the national championship this year.
Am I the only one who finds it hilarious that the Gamecocks are the one who won the women's tournament? I'm sorry. That was a juvenile joke, and I shouldn't have made it. Move on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
But we figured you would be the one. We figure you would be the one.
I'll be that.
Hopefully the next segment we will take a little bit seriously, but I doubt it. But back to these women. Watching this game again, we expected Caitlin Clark to come out here and have her moment in the sun, finally get her a national championship. This is against a team that she beat last year to get to the finals. Ended up losing to LSU last year, but this
Right.
was her redemption year. Come back, and she started off real strong. And in my book, I thought she was going to be able to maintain. And I had some people over watching with me, and they told me there was no way that she would be able to maintain that particular pace. And unfortunately for some, and fortunately for others, she could not.
Right.
But Iowa stormed out early on with a 27-20 lead in the first quarter. Caitlin had 18 of those. She was getting buckets, shooting threes,
Hey,
getting.
hey,
She was on her team.
you cannot breeze past that. 18 of
18 in the
20,
quarter.
18, bruh. If you were in college basketball, in male, female, or other, college basketball, if you jump out with 18, you drop 18 in the first quarter. If you
First
drop
10 minutes.
18, if you're 18 to 25 in the game, you're a stud.
Right.
She had 18 in the quarter.
Right.
Don't
Now
matter what
she
she
was
had.
coming off of a 40. She was coming off of a 40 piece against LSU. She was coming off of a
Right.
40 piece.
Right.
So I was expecting, I know she had to put a lot into getting that 40 piece, but I was still expecting that maybe she'd be able to get them at least another 40 because that's what it was going to take. I understood with how she works for her team. She is basically everything. She runs the show. I am the assist leader. I am the rebound leader. I'm the scoring leader. I have everything. I am LeBron James to this Cleveland Cavaliers bullshit.
Yes.
That's exactly who she has been. And what ended up happening was Dawn Staley. The great Dawn Staley. I had to give that a pause because when you talk about Dawn, you want an applause after you hear that name. This woman has been everything since she was a player at Virginia. She's been the truth. She talks her talk, she walks her walk, she coaches her tail off, and she had these girls prepared. Caitlin came out early, gave them what they needed, and then what she did was, I'm just going to keep sending players after you. I'm going to keep sending large guards out here. I'm going to keep putting bodies on you and make you work. And that's one thing that I was disappointed in the LSU game was you can't just sit. It's kind of like Larry Bird. You remember Larry Bird back in the day? He was like, I was offended when they put white boys on me because I felt it was disrespect. That's kind of how I saw it with the Mulkey team in LSU. Was you put this white girl out there, and again, she has been great all year, but when she's facing that upper echelon, there's something else that's needed, and there needs to be a little more quickness. There needs to be a little more aggression, and I think that's where LSU failed. Dawn Staley said, I don't care. I've got players, I've got numbers, I've got bodies, and I'm just going to continue to send them at her. And Dawn Staley did a great job. Now, that second quarter for South Carolina, when they outscored Iowa 29-19, I think that was where the game changed. I think Caitlin Clark only had 3 points in that second quarter.
And keep in mind, that puts her at 21.
Still.
You see what I'm saying?
Still a great half. Still a great half.
This is the thing. When you've got, and I don't take nothing away from anybody else. And I think I called you, I talked to you, and I was like, it was like Michael Jordan beat Kobe Bryant, but then lost to Phil Jackson. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's only because don't start emailing and texting and DMing talking about those are all guys. That's all I got to compare it to. So shut up. So anyway, but for real, that shows me when you got a coach who's unflappable.
Yes.
You just go, okay, I'm gonna take that on the chin up front. There's no way that you can keep up that pace if I keep to my game plan. If I stick to my game plan and keep throwing bodies at you, out whatever it takes. I got fresh legs. You can't do it all by yourself. You just came off of trying to do it all by yourself against LSU.
Right.
You ain't gonna do it to us. You can't. I bet you can't do it back to back.
And the thing is, you're gonna have to. If you're gonna win this game, you're gonna have to do it back to back.
Yep.
But this time, you're not going to be doing it against just one defender.
Right.
Because LSU didn't put Flage on her until the last 4 minutes of the game, and it was pretty much over by then. They started off in the second quarter saying, we're gonna switch this up and we're gonna put bodies on you. And Raven Johnson, I have to give her props. It wasn't her best offensive day. And this is the young lady, if you remember, in the Final Four, Caitlin Clark, she was out there by herself, and Caitlin Clark waved her off.
Yeah,
I think was worried about you taking the shot. She took it upon herself in this particular game to lock in on the defensive side and give Caitlin everything that she could ask for in that second, third, and fourth quarter. Like, she picked her pocket a couple times, and this is what Caitlin is used to. Caitlin's really used to the officials bailing her out on certain situations, and they had been doing that early in the game But then there was a change in officiating also that allowed these young ladies to play, and as they say, get up in them, and it was over. It was over.
But
I think she blocked the shot like twice, 2 or 3 blocks.
I appreciate that though, because they started calling the game like a men's game. And let's
Yeah,
be clear, all
yeah,
right? I'm a basketball fan. Basketball in general. Now, in my entire life, that automatically equated to men's basketball
right,
because let's be honest, it's just more exciting and more fun to watch men's basketball because number one, because they play above the rim a whole lot more. Number
right.
two, because they're just more energetic, more moves, more exciting to watch. This year, between those two young ladies, over the last 2 years, let's be honest, be real. Over the
Yeah,
last
yeah.
2 years, Caitlin Clark and Lord have mercy,
Angel Reese out of LSU.
Angel Reese. Listen, those two by themselves, that was Bird and Magic.
The Magic. That was
That
Bird and
was
Magic 79.
right. That was special,
That's Michigan
and
State,
watching that.
Indiana State. That's what that brought me. That's what that brought it back to, as far as the love and the want and the attention to the game. But it also brought in the same thing that did is a race factor also,
Yep,
because the white people did not like the way that Angel Reese acted, and they ignored the way that Caitlin Clark acted.
absolutely. But you know
When
what?
Angel Reese did this last year, they forgot that Caitlin Clark had been doing that all year. And side note, real quick, stop calling this the John Cena.
No.
Tony Yayo been doing this, man. It's the Yayo.
Tony Yayo, give that man his prop. John
Give
Cena
that man
did.
his props,
John
man.
Cena gave him his props.
Right. But when you look at the media, oh, she does the John Cena, you can't see me. I'm like, but anyway, back to this particular situation. And again, but it did really bring out that those racist wants for the great white hope. And
Right?
I'm not going to say great white hype. She is not hype at all. She is
No, she is the
legit.
truth.
That's Cuz Cleve said you can't cheat her at all. However, you ignore the things that she does that are disrespectful as being competitive and being
Right.
it's just a part of the game. But then when the black girls do it back to her, like her waving off a girl sitting in the paint, a girl is out there with the ball and she just waves like we don't even care about you out there. That's disrespectful.
Immensely.
But nobody cared about that. They were just saying, "Oh, she was just letting her know the you can't see me." She did it all year. She is a dog out there, but everyone seems to give her the pass because she's great. And my thing is, these other kids are great as well. And when it came down time to Caitlin Clark, we need you to be superhuman. Dawn Staley, again, Dawn Staley said, nah, not today. Now, she did end up with 30, but you start off with 18 in quarter one. I give you a 3 in quarter two. I think she had 3 in the third quarter and about 6 in the fourth. Like, they made you pedestrian at that point by sending bodies at you, actually defending you. And then everybody with the you can't see me shit. Did you see the way they were defending her? Hand up in her face the whole time she's dribbling the ball because she is a great passer of the ball. So we're not going to allow you to see these additional angles also. So
Right.
these things that coach did, like I hope the WNBA was watching because she's about to go over there and tear up some shit.
Hey, listen, man. Did you see what your boy Ice Cube said? What Ice Cube offered?
5 mil?
Ice Cube offered that girl $5 million to come to the Big Three. Now,
And
what does this say though? Because you got to understand that $5 million is more than the top players in the WNBA are making.
exactly. And there were some people who had a little bit to say about Ice Cube offering it to her as opposed to someone who's already established themselves in the league and that sort of thing. But the girl moves the needle. And we're going to come back to that in a second because I still want to give props to South Carolina because through all of this, through as great as Caitlin was and is, there was a team that was better. Now, my favorite player on South Carolina's team was not the one who won the most outstanding player. The center down there, she went off at about 18 points, I think it was, but she
Yeah.
went up. I'll find the stats and I'll put those up there. My favorite player is a freshman named Malaysia Fluwiley. She is the Kyrie Irving of college basketball. The girl got handles, got the ball on the string, does whatever she wants to. And she came out when they were down double digits early on in the game. She came in, gave them a quick spark. I think she ended up having like 7 points in 3 minutes, in her first 3 minutes out there. But she was moving the ball up and down the court, changing the pace of the game. And she actually brought them into single digits. And then coach took her back out, and I was mad. I was mad. But then again, but I'm watching with some folks, and they saying, but Raven runs the show. Now, this little girl, if you want to run up and down, that's that. But sometimes you need a calming factor right there that's not going to turn the ball over.
You need a general.
Right. You need the and Raven is that general, and she had something to prove. Again, she didn't have a great shooting game, but she ran the show. So it's not about you waving me off last year, because you waved me off this year. Yeah, I dare you to leave me out here. I worked on my game. This was her revenge tour year. She worked on her game. She's able to do that. So now you have to come up on me. And once you decide to step up, then I maneuver the ball where it needs to be. And I get the ball into my bigs and we kill you. And that was just a great game plan by the great Dawn Staley. And for her, after this game, because earlier they told her she needed to apologize for her views on God. And after the game, in her interview, she continued to say, if you don't believe in God, something wrong with you. God did this.
Right.
God did this. God. And for that lady to stand, for her to stand on her principles, and for her to say what she said and not be apologetic about it at all, I got to give it to you. Dawn Staley, 3-time champion, 2017, 2022, 2024. 4-time coach of the year, 2020, 2022 through 2024. 6-time All-Star, college player of the year 2 times in 91 and 92. Like, you have a resume built in by this young lady. Well, I can't even call her a young lady because that lady is not quite young. But by Dawn Staley. You have a resume by Dawn Staley that is unflappable. And then last year, I think she lost like 3 of her top players, maybe 5 of her top players.
Right.
And then comes back this year and does it again.
Listen,
After
man.
having Aaliyah Boston and those leave, and then you come back and win, and you beat the GOAT.
Listen.
Dawn
The
is
thing
that deep.
is, what you got to understand, when you come in and you stick to what it is and put all the rest of that stuff out, hey, this is a tip for y'all. When you ignore all the stuff, all the periphery, and you get completely laser focused, it's real hard to lose. It's hard to lose when you get laser focused on what you're trying to accomplish.
And I think
And
we said this about Coach Prime back in the day when we initially started. Keep the main thing the main thing.
right.
That was his quote from the beginning. I think that's similar to what you're saying about Coach Staley. When you let the outside noise go and stay laser focused on what it is, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Well, listen, salute to all those young ladies, man. Like this season, it started out last season, but this season has really opened a lot of eyes to women's basketball as a whole, let alone college basketball, because the numbers prove it out.
Yes.
I think they beat the men's tournament by almost double. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
And they beat the record they set last year. They beat the record that was set a week before. And that, like the game is growing. And I hope that when Caitlin leaves, that it continues to grow. There are some players in college, women's college basketball, that you still want to go see. I want
Right.
to see Wiley. I want to see Flau'jae at LSU. I
Yep.
want to see Juju out there at USC. Like, there are some girls out there right now that now they can't beat me on the court. But I'm saying it's a couple of y'all niggas out there that'll get done. Done. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
Oh, jeez.
Hey,
So
I still got it, man. Hey, tuck that elbow, man. Tuck that elbow. I still get this.
Hey,
Oh,
new record. That's the earliest I've had to pull that out. That's the earliest I've ever had to pull that out.
Tuck that elbow, son. Tuck that elbow. Leave it out there. But yeah, but Caitlin, the two-time player of the year in college in women's college basketball,
Yep.
surefire #1 pick. And I think that draft is coming up Monday, I believe it is. But that draft is coming up really, really soon. And she's going to be #1 pick by the Indiana Fever. This is what's happened with the Indiana Fever. This past year, Indiana Fever had one game on national television. I'm going to give you a number of how many games will be nationally televised by the Indiana Fever this year. I'm going to let you take a guess. They had one last season.
12.
36. They have already scheduled 36 nationally televised games for the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. They are selling out arenas already.
Yep.
Whenever she visits. And I hope that she is able to maintain and be as good as she was in women's college basketball when she is facing these grown-up women. Now, before we leave this subject, you did mention Ice Cube and the Big Three.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it would be a good idea for this little girl, and I'm going to say little girl, I know she's like 22, but still, she's a baby. This little girl to go into the Big Three and play against these grown men?
I'm going to preface my answer with this. I think that she would be dumb to do it. I think going to the WNBA and the potential there is great for her as far as exposure and deals as far as
because she gets to do both. She can do both. True. They're not in the same seasons.
Wait, I did not know that. Because if my understanding is correct, the beef between Big Three and NBA, once you sign an NBA contract, or that's NBA, not WNBA. You're right. She can do both. You're right. My fault. Here's the thing. This is why I want her to do it. This is why I want her to go to Big Three. Because it sends a message. Imagine being the professional league and having the top player in the world, give or take, having the opportunity to pull her into your league, and she says, you don't pay me enough. You don't think enough of us, and they don't support you. I'm going to go over here. Imagine what that would do for women's basketball. Imagine the eyeballs and the words and the thoughts of like, oh, we got to step our game up. Imagine what the WNBA would have to do if something like that happened. That's the equivalent of LeBron James coming out of college, out of high school, and going, yeah, I could go and be the #1 draft pick in the NBA, but I'm gonna go play for the G League on purpose if the G League wasn't affiliated with the NBA at all. You know what I'm saying? Like the eyeballs and the moves that would have to be made by the WNBA if something like that happened, especially if she went to the Big Three and really did some of them dudes in. If she really put in work on some of them dudes, it would be like, oh man, we got to step our game up. And that's when I think you start getting that competition.
Everything goes wrong.
You said what?
That's where everything goes wrong. Her putting in work on them dudes. Just because she got an Adam's apple does not mean that she can outplay dudes.
Listen. I did not insinuate that she would. What I'm saying is, if she went over there, and by dudes,
when I was talking about she can't beat me, but she can beat some of y'all dudes, I want to talk about none of y'all dudes that's in the Big Three. None of y'all.
Hey, I don't
former professional basketball.
I don't care what you say. I just watched the other day. I forgot the boy name, and so he probably forgets his own name sometime. But he just dropped 50, and his average is 8 points a game. And he dropped 50.
Yeah,
even a broke watch is right twice
in Detroit. Kid in Detroit. I'm with you. Right.
So if she went in there and she had one time, I'm not saying she ain't gonna be able to go in there and really, really bang with some of these dudes, but a 22-year-old female against a 54-year-old ex NBA player, I think
This
she
is
can get
not
some.
this is not Jake. This is not Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, sir.
No, no, no,
This
no, no,
is
no, 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 no. Listen what I'm saying.
because them 54-year-old dudes over there giving it the dang on 28-year-old dudes over there.
You're
Like this,
right.
she wouldn't get a shot off.
Oh no, wait. I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe that for a minute. Nope. I don't believe that she would be shut completely down. I don't
She
think
wouldn't get a shot off.
you out your you out your mind. Look here. She would put in. She would put up some points. She would put up some solid points. I think. Is she gonna go over there and average 20, 25? No, but she would average 10, 12, 15 maybe.
Zero.
You out your mind.
Zero.
You are drunk and you need some help. Like that is you're crazy. We
Bruh.
listen. We'll do a
Bruh.
whole wait. We'll do a whole nother show on this. We'll do a whole nother show on females versus males in sports if you want to. But just be clear that Caitlin Clark being completely shut down forever because she's playing against dudes in the big three, I don't think that happens.
There is nowhere to hide on a big three court.
Right.
There's nowhere to hide.
Right.
And I'm just this one dude. And if this girl decides that she wants to shoot the ball, I'm a clothesliner, and she doesn't get to play anymore.
Yeah, but you forget that with the big three, I can still come off a pick from a 6'10", 300-pound monster who doesn't care. He's not worried about getting fined by the league. So he's going to lay somebody out. So if her team
And
decides we're
imagine
protecting,
what the guy who was about to let this little girl score on him is feeling. The same
right.
thing that pick is saying is said by the guy who's, I'll run through this cat just to make
you
sure
are
she
outside your mind. You are crazy because you got to think about it like this. Think about it like this. Do you think that Tom Brady was such a great football, a great quarterback because he was so great as far as skill, or do you think some of that was because you've got one of the best offensive lines in the world, and everywhere you go, they're going to make sure you have the best offensive line in the world to protect you? Niggas who would go to battle and make sure that nobody can touch you. That's what's going to happen with a Caitlin
Tom Brady
Clark in
was
the Big
great.
Three.
See, because apparently you haven't watched enough of the big three. So what happens is you got to basically check the ball in. You checking the ball in. Let Caitlin Clark be standing up at the top of the key and go check the ball in. As soon as she catches, I'm in her. She gets rid of that ball. I'm going to give her one of these.
Yeah.
And then she gets lay down an hour 3-on-2 because I dare you to shoot. I'm going to kill this little girl. I'll be damned.
And if that's going to happen the first couple of games.
You forget about male pride. That's what you forget about. You forget about male pride.
But you forget about chivalry. Let me tell you something.
Oh, so you think these
nigga, put it on you. Put it on you. If you went right now, if you decided whatever the sport was, you were going out on the court and one of your homegirls was coming out there to play ball with y'all, and you saw a dude clothesline her, what are you going to do the next play?
If she getting $5 million and I'm not,
nigga,
do it again. Do it again.
Yo, you stupid. Hey, listen, man. Listen,
my
man.
bad, baby.
You are. We will agree to disagree.
I'll go help her up. But I'm gonna tell the nigga the next time, hey man, next time make sure you check her a little harder. Get her ass up out of here, man.
You stupid.
Gotta do it.
You're a complete fool. Anyway, listen, man. Salute, Gamecocks. No Diddy. Congratulations.
You don't like to say Cox, huh? You don't like to say the Cox?
Not at all, sir. However, congratulations. Excellent game. Ladies in general, excellent for the sport of basketball as a whole, and definitely for women's sports.
Let's keep it up next year, ladies. Let's keep it up next year. And WNBA is a good product. Please, let's support them also. Let's support.
All right, I'm not gonna go down that road because it's not a great product. Let's be real.
This is our woman empowerment moment, man. This is our time to give women their props.
Yes,
we have been doing so good. Now you want to discredit them. Now you want to tell them they don't even give you a good product. But you want to put one of them in the big three though.
Because it's a novelty. That'd be fun. But you can't. Nah, bro. You can't. I'm not gonna allow you to do that. I love the WNBA ladies and what they're doing on the court. But it's a great product. And that's not on the ladies, that's on the league. That ain't
The
on the
league is
talent.
doing their best with the ladies. They're giving them they're giving them more of the revenue that they bring in than the NBA gives to its players. So as far as equity goes, the WNBA is they operate at a deficit, and the NBA is continuing to funnel funds into them. If they were actually getting paid based on the same metric that the guys are getting paid as far as percentages,
they'd be working at Burger King too.
They'll be making minimum wage. Yeah. So I applaud the NBA for keeping them around for these 20 some odd years. Even though, dude, they started in, I remember what was it, 97? I think they started in 97 after the 96 Olympics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That 30 years?
Yeah, almost close enough.
Wow.
Close enough.
Oh well, congratulations, lady. Well,
congratulations to the lady.
One more thing. So I watched. I don't know if you're familiar with comedian Bill Burr, one of my favorite comedians in the world. All right,
love him. Shout out to Burr.
He described this in the best possible terms. He's like, think about it like this: the women's basketball, they're not getting paid as much because they're not a draw. Well, here's the thing. Are you looking women, if there are more women than men, yes? There are more women than men. And if women's empowerment started with women, the WNBA would have higher viewership than the NBA. So really and truly, it's not our fault that they're not getting much. Women, if you won't even support your own, how you gonna get mad at me? You won't even support anyway. But
we went from empowering the women to y'all don't even like each other. There we go. He said
it's
it.
The Let's Get Canceled podcast. Anyway, let's move on, man.
We're gonna take a quick break. Let us watch this commercial right quick. We'll be right back.
For sure.
What up? It's your boy Big Tech Dog, your favorite friendly, lovable loudmouth. I'm the co-host of the Let's Get Canceled podcast. Listen, man, we appreciate everything that you've done for us so far, all right? Y'all have been rocking with us from the beginning. Even in this short period of time, man, y'all have been right there with us. But now it's time to take it to the next level, all right? If you like what you're seeing right now and you want to see more content like this, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell notification in YouTube so you get notified every time we go live. And share this on your social media platform. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Anywhere that you catch us, make sure that you share it with your followers, all right? We appreciate you. Peace.
All right, yeah, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Again, man, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, man. The Let's Get Canceled Pod. Also, you can find us at www.theletsgetcanceledpod.com. And that, my friends, is where all of our merch will be. Order forms are up now. Go ahead and place your order for T-shirts. We're going to have more merch coming. As you requested, the more we're gonna have for you. All right. So
let's get some bikinis with the logo on the titties, or some shorts with the logo on the ass. Like get the juicies.
We should do both of our faces. So when they put the juicy pants on, it'll say
my face on your titties.
P over the top, and I'll be on one cheek, and you'll be on the other cheek. Oh, yo, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. But
yes, you are. But it's okay. It's a great idea. It's a great effing idea.
Listen though, speaking of wrong, cheeks. Getting in trouble for cheeks. Listen, man. So this is hilarious to me. So Diddy is still walking around free. We've had no charges dropped yet. No, nothing like that came along. So he's out and still partying in Miami. And you know who he's partying in Miami with?
You saw he was out. You saw who he was out there with.
He out there with Stevie J. Listen, man. I watched the video of Stevie J, right? Stevie J was talking to 50 because 50 has no chill. When I tell you, this dude is off his rocker going at these dudes, right? Yo, Stevie J tried to challenge 50 to a fight. And while doing so, looked as fruity as possible. Like, keep in mind, you know Stevie J. If y'all don't know Stevie J, he looks like this. Right. That's Stevie J. When you see him, he looks. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, not that there's a look, but there's a look. You know what I mean?
And if you remember episodes before, we had the producer that came out and said Diddy showed him a video of Stevie in some compromising positions,
Right.
saying if Stevie could do it, you can do it. So now Stevie's saying, I've never seen Diddy do anything suspect. And maybe he didn't. Maybe he did the suspect stuff and Diddy wasn't there.
Stop.
But
Stop. Nobody on this planet can say we've never seen Diddy do anything suspect. You can't. I don't know the man personally, and I can't say that I've never seen him do anything suspect.
Take that.
I like it when you do that, Daddy. Pause. That's Diddy, man. Like, everybody has seen him do something suspect. Not saying that means the man. Look, full disclaimer, I don't think Diddy's gay. I don't think. But he does some stuff.
I think he likes Dingaling though. He may not be gay, but he likes Dingaling.
No, that's gay.
Make that make sense. Make that make sense.
That's gay.
Okay. Well, I think Diddy does engage with men at times, and again, I don't care. He's a bad boy.
I'm laughing because you're trying your best to say that as politely as possible.
Because even if he is, it doesn't take away from any of the things that he has done musically. Now,
Right.
as far as him being a child molester, raper, sex trafficker, drug user, or
God,
abuser,
yo, when you list it like that, it sounds so bad.
because these are the allegations, and again,
you're right.
with all of those things, like that being that bad of a person, that's one thing. But when it's just you like to tell niggas to take that. Hey, if they consent to it, give it to them, Diddy. Give it.
Listen. There's a lot of great things have come from some terrible people. All right, like R. Kelly made "I Believe I Can Fly," and he also like.
All right. So just a quick aside. Once again, quick aside. R. Kelly's music is amazing.
Yep.
R. Kelly's allegations, he deserves to be locked up.
Yes, absolutely.
If and being that he was convicted, I think he deserves to be there. Now, if he's convicted wrongly, free that man in my hand, make another thing on Trapped in the Closet series. Dude, you don't realize I go and watch Trapped in the Closet at least once a year.
At least.
1 through a million. At least once a year. Yep. 1 through a million. I'm gonna watch all of them because that is the opera that is needed. That's a stage show. Like, put that joint on Broadway. Y'all put Cats up there. Y'all put Fiddler on the Roof. Put Trapped in the Closet. I would go watch that.
I like the Weird Al's version. No, but listen. The thing is that, number one, to your point, I don't look at the justice system as a barometer of whether he is guilty or not guilty. And that's just because of my distrust for the justice system. But number two,
not even your distrust, but because of the history of the justice system.
Right. But number two, I've seen enough evidence my own self with my own two eyes and read enough of my own to believe that nigga's guilty, whether they convicted him wrongly or not. Because I feel the same way about Bill Cosby. I feel like Bill Cosby should be in prison, but I feel like he should not be in prison now because they took what he said and used it against him after so, and that's where I'm torn. So the same thing with R. Kelly, same thing with Diddy. Diddy hasn't been charged with anything yet.
Right.
Nothing. He's been charged with nothing. What we're talking about is the fact that, number one, it appears this man likes the Diddy diddle. You understand what I'm saying? He likes the diddle. Diddy likes the diddle. You dig what I mean? And that's kind of just shaky. Number two is the allegations are of him being a molester of children. Now, when it comes to the sex trafficking part of things, of the adult women, I have a lot of questions about that. I know I have a lot of questions about that personally because I worked with children, some of which whom were trafficked.
Right.
There are certain telltale signs. Not saying that it happens to all because everybody deals with trauma differently. But what I am saying is that I don't necessarily. I need to see. I need to know more before I can say that I completely believe these adult women, these adult millionaire women, were sex trafficked. Hard for me to believe that. There, I said it.
But how many dudes did Diddy diddle if Diddy did diddle dudes?
Diddy diddle dudes due to the fact that Diddy could diddle dudes until he couldn't do the diddle anymore.
Diddle, diddly, 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 dee. And I know we were supposed to go into the breaking news that came out earlier about Jonathan. I think we'll circle back to him now. However, we have given Diddy so much hell in regards to the allegations.
Right.
And what we have failed to do as a community, and again, there are people out there that are talking about it, but for the most part, we're not talking about these other people who have these allegations and convictions on them. And that brings us to the quiet on the set.
Oh boy.
The horrors of the child entertainment industry.
Well, listen, let me ask you a question. Now, we're both at the age where we remember the golden age of Nickelodeon.
Boy, do I remember the golden age.
To watch
But
that.
I remember the inception. I remember the inception of Nickelodeon.
You remember, the only thing we could watch, we'd be at grandma's house and we watching Nick at Night. That's how I know about the My Three Sons and all
Oh,
them.
bruh, I Love Lucy's and let me see, the Monsters, Car 54. Where are you? Like,
Yes.
that was my shit.
That was
and then even the kid shows with Picture Page and Salute Your Shorts and then
you can't do that.
Wild and Crazy Kids. You can't do that on television.
Yes, bro.
Like I remember those shows.
This was my childhood, and so watching this documentary, it was hard because you get to watch, because while someone is telling this terrible recount of what happened to them, you're going, "Oh snap, that's so and so. Oh, I remember her from what." You understand what I'm saying? Now,
Right.
I will say this: it seems as though it happened during the time period where I was old enough. I was early mid-teens,
right,
when all this stuff was going on. Here's a quick story, and I'm gonna give this to you. And some of y'all know this, some of the people don't. I personally, and I'm gonna try to get through this and not be emotional.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
I was on Nickelodeon at one point. I was on the show Kenan and Kel. I was 14 years old, and I can honestly say that nobody touched my booty. So listen, I'm gonna give y'all a quick story. So I did a play when I was a freshman in high school, and I played football, and I was in my English class, and the English teacher was the drama teacher as well. She told me, because apparently I was a clown in class, that I needed to come out for the play. We did The Wizard of Oz. They casted me not as the Cowardly Lion, as you probably already saying in your head. I was cast as the Wizard because I had this voice at 14. And so when they put a microphone in my hand and I went, "I am the great," and the entire auditorium went, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." And they were like, "Yeah." So they put me in a box, gave me a microphone, and that's what I did. So as the Wizard, I did all that. Well, she was friends with someone who worked at Nickelodeon Studios. At the time, some of you might remember, Nickelodeon Studios was in Orlando. Nickelodeon Studios was located at Universal Studios on their back lot. So they came and saw it. They took all of the lead characters and gave us the day off from school and had us come out to Nickelodeon Studios to shoot this new episode, this new show that they were working on called Keenan and Kel. And in this episode, this is the episode, if you remember, where they turned the grocery store into a nightclub. I was in that episode. And so we were just extras. This is also where I almost fought Kel Mitchell. And I don't know if I told you about this. Did I tell you I almost beat
You're always trying to fight somebody, man.
No, that's not the point. So here's the thing. There's a video game console, and it's the arcade game. And so in between takes, it was there. Well, it was actually Pac-Man. But on the side of it, it was something else. So in between takes, I'm at the video. I didn't have to put no quarter in or nothing. I just so I started playing the game, right? And so then after one point, I started hearing somebody laughing behind me. It was a group of people laughing behind me. I turned around. Kel is behind me, imitating me. And I'm like, hey, all right, bro. And he went, hey, all right, bro. I'm like, hey, chill, man. He's like, hey, chill, man. Like, he kept going back at me, right? And at that point, I did this. Bruh, and it was about to go down. I don't know if he knows it was about to go down, but I looked around. I'm like, there's nobody close to me. I could knock you out and it'd be all good. Do you know who the director on this episode was?
Who's that?
Kim Fields. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
In the fight in front of Tootie, nigga?
Nigga, I never saw her the whole thing until this time, because the whole time she's somewhere else in the dark out here and she's on a microphone. So she'd be like, okay, we're going to run that for whatever. I could hear her voice. But when I got ready to swing on this dude, I felt a hand. This is where I did get touched. I felt a hand do this. And I turned around and it was Tootie in all of her beauty. Tootie. And she said, and I swear to you, she said, thank you guys so much for coming out. I forgot all about the fight. I wasn't mad no more. You hear me? It was a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I loved every moment of it. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and play that clip right now.
All right. Hey, how you doing? Anything you need help? That's right. All right. How y'all enjoying the club? You like it? Thank y'all for coming. Thank you very much. How you doing, girl? Keep smiling.
Great club, Keenan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, everybody listen up.
Who are you?
Fire Marshal. Now, who owns this place?
I do.
Well, looks like I'm gonna have to shut down your club.
Why?
Because this building's only supposed to have 15 people in it at once. Looks like you got far more than 15. Here,
What's this?
a fine for $300. All right, everybody move!
All right, so you saw that. And yes, I did have hair. I had a little, my afro. It was rocking. And we were doing it. Don't laugh at the clothes, because that's only the decent clothes that I had to go to this show, because if I would have put on anything else, my daddy would have said I looked like a thug. And then don't worry about the dancing, because we couldn't. Number one, I never claimed to be a dancer anyway, but that's just the way it goes, all right? But I was there. I was there. I did not meet this dude. What's his name? The
Dan Snyder?
Schneider. I did not meet Schneider. I was a fan of his, though. You know why? Because I remember Head of the Class.
Head of the Class. Exactly.
And he was in that. So when I knew he was there, when I saw him, I didn't talk to him. When I saw him, it was like, oh, snap. I know that guy. He was on the set. Like, he's one of the producers. And I don't know if he was in that scene. I think he was.
We'll see. We will see. We will see.
Yeah, we'll see. But he was a funny guy. I never interacted with him. I saw him and I knew, because him and the other dude were both on Head of the Class. The guy who was the manager.
Yes, I know you're talking about. He was the cool guy with the leathers and shit.
Yeah, and then there was the nerd guy who's the manager of the grocery store in the show. He was on Head of the Class too.
He was on there.
Yeah. So that's what I remember. That's who I remember, that whole thing. Now, the bad part was watching the show, watching Quiet on the Set. You start realizing that while you're sitting there smiling and laughing with a bunch of people, some of those same people are doing some hideous, horrendous, horrible
traumatizing.
And that's insane to me, because while you watch it, you watch all these shows on Nickelodeon, man, and you're like, yo, that they look like they're having the most fun in the world.
Right.
And when we went out to Nickelodeon Studios, we were thinking we're going to where we've been watching these people forever, and we're going to have fun with the people we watched have fun on TV. And now
Right.
you're going to tell me that it wasn't all fun.
Right. And the thing of it is, looking back on some of those things that were done to these kids as an adult, it's kind of cringe. Like seeing girls getting facialized and shit. Like, hey, I didn't as a kid, I wouldn't have paid attention to that.
No.
And again, we're talking about times after I was, because by the time a lot of the people, these new generations and that sort of thing, a lot of the times when the Drake Bells and all them, like I was out of Nickelodeon world. I was grown. They having these own shows, so
right.
I grew up on Nickelodeon. But after a while, I was like, I figured I aged out and I was done with it. But to even see and hear that the people who were there in the beginning, what they have been doing to these kids from jump.
Right.
Like there's a kid that you put in a dick costume. He got a dick on his nose, a dick on his shoulders. Like I just don't. I really don't get it. And again, I don't know the Leon Friersons, the Giovannis, and the Bryans. Like I don't remember them because they were on that second iteration.
They were that second wave, right?
Yeah, they were that second wave of that. But I'm pretty sure if it happened to them, if they felt a certain way, some of those from that original cast have those similar stories. And I know there were a couple of the girls on there from the original cast saying how Dan Schneider was just a prick. And
see, here's the
writers also saying that he was just a prick.
So here's the thing. Let's be real. I want to make a very sharp distinction between claims of sexual impropriety and somebody's butthole. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, because, right. And that's with Dan Schneider, it was just a lot more of him just he was a jerk. So with that going on with him and him being maybe sexist to a point, because there were some of the writers saying that he tried to create two women to do one job, and okay, so we don't have enough money for you, so you guys got to split this money.
One salary, yeah.
Right, split one salary, right. And then sending them IM saying, hey, yell out I'm a whore, and harping on that with them. Like that sort of thing where they're like,
I tried not to laugh at that. I knew it was coming, and I didn't want to laugh at that.
See, this is the one time I'm on this one trying to be serious and sincere because I feel for these people, and he won't let me. He won't let me.
If you're sitting in your office,
this is us. This is us.
If you're sitting at a desk in your office and you are diligently doing your work, imagine this: you got your head down here. All right, yeah, we got to meet this deadline, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear, "I'm a whore." You be like. That's hilarious to me, bro. That's funny. That is.
But imagine being the young lady that's sitting at her desk diligently doing her work, and that IM pops up, yell you're a whore, and you ignore it, and then it comes back with exclamation marks and hey, do it. As the young lady, your boss is telling you, do this.
Listen.
Bro, that is diabolical, man.
It's a lot of funny wrong stuff that happens, bro. I'm not saying it's not wrong. It's just hilarious.
But the thing I'm going to with this is as that woman in that particular position where I can't tell him no because then I won't have a job, and I barely have this job anyway. I'm already splitting my salary with this other girl, so I have to do this. And for the boss to have that type of inclination to, hey, let's torture this woman for fun.
Yeah.
And again, we talk about Diddy. We talk about all these other black men who do things and we laugh and joke about it all, but we don't ever bring this to the forefront. That's why I wanted to do this particular topic, because I'm like, yeah, we've done Diddy, we talked about R. Kelly, we talked about Bill Cosby, and all of the crazy and rude and raunchy things that they did. But you've got these people who are in charge of children acting this way.
You know what though? And while you speaking of in charge of children, am I mistaken, or did they have a sex offender on staff was in charge of children?
In charge of children. He was the dialect coach.
Right.
And I think his name was Brian Peck.
Yep.
They had Brian Peck on as the dialect coach, and I think Drake Bell came out and finally told his story because he did get this to the authorities at a particular point after, I think he was like 14, 15 years old. He gets this to the authorities, and the authorities finally take this to court, get this man convicted. And then after he does his time, this man still gets another job
at Disney.
With Disney. Right. I leave Nickelodeon with kids, and I'm going to go over here to Disney, the home of the babies, and we're going to do this all over again. I think you said he was there until 2019.
Yeah. No. He wasn't there until 2019. That
was his last job.
It was 20, but they said it was a short stint at Disney. But still, bro, like,
how do you get hired on? And they're saying like sex offenders. I think you brought this up to me earlier. They can't go by schools. They can't be a certain amount of yards from daycares, but they get to be at Disney working on kids shows, and that's okay because like right now, R. Kelly's locked up for what they said he did.
Yep.
After he was convicted, he can't go back around little girls no more.
Right.
I'm not sure if it's worse that he was over there preying on little boys, but the bottom line is he's preying on children. There was another guy there, a production assistant, Jason Handy. They say Jason was around. Everyone loved Jason. Little girls say Jason would talk to her and her mother. Her mother said she thought it was cool that her daughter had someone who was an advocate for her there on the show.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, the girl's at her computer screaming because Jason Handy is sending her pictures of him naked playing with himself.
Yep. Here's the thing though. Jason, he was a production assistant. This is the one that I feel is the most it was the weirdest to me because because they love it. This is another thing, man. I got one daughter, bro. One. And I know you got nieces. I got a niece. I got nieces and a daughter. These people were handing these kids over, and because he seemed so nice and innocent, they let him go off. Like, so he was in charge. Jason Handy was in charge of getting them from one part of the set to the other.
Right. This is the one guy you let your kids go along with.
Right. Here you go. Take her on over there. I'll be over in a minute. Yo, and here's the bad part, right? So it says that he pleaded no contest to lewd acts on a child and the distribution of sexually explicit material in 2004. Both of them, he served 6 years in prison, registered as a convicted sex offender, and then was charged again with new offenses a few years after his release.
Bruh. But again, we want to talk trash about Diddy, and we want to talk about Meek Mill may have gotten touched, but nobody is focusing on a whole network of bullshit. And again, I've been doing great this episode of holding my tongue. And
I was just getting ready to say that's the second cuss word for the whole show. So I think, and it's been the same word. It was just the second offense.
But this bothers me. This bothers me more than anything because, again, we give our own hell. We give our guys hell, but we let these go. Like these guys, going back to Brian Peck, Drake Bell says he was dealing with this guy. Drake Bell's father says he noticed something was going on, and Drake's mother allowed for the rift to come in between this father and son because they had divorced when he was like 5. And then the father's the manager. The father's realizing like, hey, man, I saw this guy touch Leonardo DiCaprio like that on Growing Pains. Yeah. I watched him do that, and it's the same thing he's doing to my son. So I don't want him around my kid. Once I go and address this with the folks, hey, I don't want this guy around my kid. He's a dialect coach. I'm going to be around this coward. Goes and talks to the kid. Your dad's stealing your money. Your dad's holding you back. He doesn't need to be here. Going to the mother, and you're driving this divide between the father and child. And again, with the mother that doesn't want to be fully involved with the taking you to your sets and all that kind of stuff, we allow this guy to take over. And the father on the episode said, the only thing I told his mother was, don't let him be alone with this guy.
Right.
As a parent, and again, I don't have any kids, so I'm asking you as a parent, how is it that this gets to this particular point? And what kind of relationship do you not have with your kid for them not to tell you the very first time it happens?
I'll tell you what happens. And I look at this from a different angle. And that's full transparency. Sometimes being the parent is the most difficult part. To be a real parent, because you have to tell someone no who only sees the positive. Right? I'll give you an example. I've got 3 sons and a daughter. All of them are active in sports and things like that. So I've got 3 basketball playing sons and a cheerleading daughter, right? I've had multiple issues with putting my foot down on whether or not they're going to be able to continue with whatever they're doing if they don't meet these criteria on this side.
Right.
I told every coach that has ever coached any one of my sons that your job is to make them a great basketball player. My job is to make them a great man. That's it. I don't step on your toes. Just make sure you don't step on mine. Right? Because of that, you have to play the villain role a lot of times. So a lot of times, if an opportunity is missed, the kids blame you for the missed opportunity, not seeing the bigger picture. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're a parent, especially, and I can only imagine when you're the parent of in a divorce situation with one kid, I can imagine there's a battle of who's going to be the one that he likes the best. You know what I'm saying? And we see a lot of that. So when you're there and you start to put your foot down, and a predator is going to be able to see that little rift and go, okay, if I can drive, it's not even driving a wedge. All you got to do is put a little bit of pressure on it. It's going to tear apart anyway, because when you've got a relationship that's falling apart,
it's already there.
Holding together, of course, it don't take much to break that bond. You understand what I'm saying? So, and as a kid, if this is the parent that's letting you do what you want to do, that's where you're going to lean. That's just how that goes. So I understand how that can happen. Now, what I don't understand, as a father, I don't understand not raising holy hell after seeing and believing what you believe. Because I don't care what anybody says, just like we talked about the police brutality stuff that goes on with black men, and I'm not going to stand on the sideline no more and just videotape it. We got to intervene, got to make sure that doesn't happen again. It's the same thing. You know what? I'll be called every name in the book, and you know what? It may never come out that it was actually going on, but you stopped it and you made sure it didn't happen to your son. I'm telling you now, this conversation between you and I would be going a lot differently if that was one of my kids, because you, just like Suge Knight in jail right now doing the podcast, I'd be doing mine from jail too. I promise, bro. Because I don't believe when it all boils down for my family, before I let anything happen to one of these kids, and I know have an inkling about it. Now, you got to remember, these guys who are, especially someone who's been able to get into the sphere of Nickelodeon, and be working with kids, they're smart and they're very cunning and conniving, and so they will find ways to be undetected. So you're not going to know everything, and that's something that I might stay up at night about, bro, because you never know. These coaches and assistants and helpers and all this other stuff, you never know who's around the kids. which is why it's important for you to be involved. But
Be involved, right?
and mothers, listen. If you're, it doesn't matter what you think about the father. It doesn't matter if there's certain things that need to be discussed between both parents. And
Indeed,
if he's
indeed.
not abusive, if the other parent is not abusive, then you need to. That's something, especially with young men. They need their fathers. Young men need their fathers because the father is the one who's going to protect. A mother is the one who's going to kind of go along, and they'll get taken advantage of. Point blank. Period. In the statement.
Because because a lot of times the son needs a male figure,
Right.
so this guy seems okay, and there's no additional questioning behind if this guy is okay. And I think that was a lot of what happened with Drake's Bell situation. Was this guy's going to take him to his auditions, he's going to take him to set, he's going to make sure that he has somewhere to stay so I don't have to drive, and he doesn't have to drive back and forth to OC versus where he is. So there was a lot that went into that. However, when Pop said, I noticed he was treating my son a certain way, there should have been more than just, I don't want him around my kid, but you will not be around my kid. And I don't think there was any fear of death either. I think that was the main thing. And I think that's what the difference is between them and who our parents were.
Right.
Because we got preachers and deacons and missionaries and all this in our family, but anyone who was around us would have known you die if you touch my child.
If you mess with one of these, it's gonna be a problem, bruh. I know. I have a family member, and I'm not gonna say who. I have a family member, very very close family member, who got who was involved with a young man early and got pregnant and all this other stuff. Look here, man. They knew very easily that I could. Actually, no, this wasn't. That wasn't that one. It was a boyfriend, and I got in the car and was like, "Yo, let's take a ride." And he's like, "Okay, cool." I got in the car, and he's like, "Where we going?" I said, "Just drive, nigga." I turned from, and he was like, "What?" I'm like, "Drive." I got that thing on my lap, and I had a conversation with him. Now, this not the one that was a different thing, but this is a former boyfriend. I was just like, "Look here, understand."
This has happened multiple times with you, and I know who you're talking about. This has happened multiple times. Yeah,
Yeah, probably. But
yeah.
I let it be known in no uncertain terms that I did not have a problem committing a felony in order to make sure that my point got across. You understand what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
I got older, and you know how you get older and you start thinking more clearly. That is still to this day one of those
That
things.
doesn't change. That
Doesn't
doesn't
change.
change because they're hours, and you don't get to do anything to hours
Right.
outside of the way. Like that, I don't care. That there is no logic in me that's going to allow hours to be violated in any way. And as the parent of these kids, because again, like with the molestation and the abuse and the sexual assaults and that sort of thing that went on, like there's no way that that's going to happen. Now, there were some kids on there who claimed some racist situations were going on. So I'm going to go to those now. I'll try to
Yeah.
lighten this a little bit. Because, yeah, you had Giovanni and Brian and the Jason kid, not the Jason kid, but the Leon kid, come on and say that they felt things were a little racist at Nickelodeon with Dan and the way he was running things. I think Giovanni said he had to wear some crazy suit, and when they told him he was going to be what was it, fetus boy, so they
Right.
told him that the suit that he needed to wear would be charcoal black. So
Right.
he felt a little bit of a way about that. And as a parent trying to protect your kid from everything, how you feel you would have responded to something like that going on?
Okay, based on what he said,
Yeah, based on what he said.
there was somebody, because from what I remember, what he said was somebody, when they were discussing the suit, somebody made a comment that it would have to be charcoal, the color of charcoal black or
Right.
something like that to fit him. Now, as a parent, if I hear this, number one, the parents had to be there. So was she standing there when she heard this or not? But number
that's
two,
the thing. The parents just have to be
on set.
on set. They don't have to be in every situation. I
Right.
think that a little bit to me is a little weird. Also,
It's
like
not. It's not as weird as you would think, because now that I think back on it, I don't know what my parents weren't there at Nickelodeon when I went to the show.
right.
I was 14, and
Gotcha.
I couldn't tell you what parent. You know what parent I know was there? Absolutely, Shaquille O'Neal's mama. Don't ask me why, but
What's she doing there?
when we got in the elevator to go up, there was this very large lady, and she was right there. And I'm on the elevator. She was the sweetest, nicest lady in the world. And we got off. They said, "You know who that was?" I'm like, "No, that's Shaq's mom." What? You know what I'm saying? And you got to remember, this is 90. This is 90. 95, 94,
Oh, wow.
95, 96.
So he was still in Orlando then.
Yeah. So, and he was a superstar. So
Right.
anyway, but I can understand, because there's times my kids go to their basketball games without me being there sometimes, or they go to practices and I'm not there at every practice. However, I have definitely told enough stories to the coaching staff to let them know I'm not to be played with. You and I scared the crap out of a young man by accident. Do you remember this?
No, I don't scare anyone. I am harmless.
He was. I didn't realize what he saw, but he was.
Oh, the kid.
Yep. So listen, yo.
No, that was his fault. That was completely 100% his fault.
Absolutely was. He was over here the other day. He was just here the other day. That's my dude. He's a good kid, but
he was gonna get shot.
He was getting ready to get ate up, because we pulled up in front of my house and there's just a car, and it was two dark, dreaded Negroes in front of my house, and I'm like, and when I'm looking at the car, and they don't move, and I'm like,
that's
oh,
the problem right there. Young men, please understand, if you're coming up to your homeboy house and somebody's outside, roll the window down and announce yourself. Hey, it's such and such here. Say something, because you got certain people like us. As soon as I saw him, I went to the car. I got my pistol. As soon as he walked out, hey, you got your heat? It's some niggas over there at the car. And this one just walks up to the car with his gun.
Yeah. And he rolls the window down and goes, "Hey, Mr." I'm like, "Oh, hey, man." And you have to do that little.
Let me tuck this in right quick.
2 days later, my wife says, "Did you pull a gun on I didn't pull a gun on anybody." He was over here the other day. He's a good kid, and salute to him. He's a good kid. He was just over here.
Someone needs to let him know the rules of engagement when it comes to niggas like us, because we didn't grow up in the best of neighborhoods. You live in a nice little community.
I do now.
We didn't grow up like that. We didn't grow up like that. Right. No. We didn't grow up like that. And to have a car of people just drive up and post up.
That's not that. Let me tell you what's not getting ready to happen. You ain't getting ready to post up out front of my house.
No, not at all. Because now we've got to find some understanding. There got to be some understanding.
But anyway, see, we'll get off track. We'll get off track. The point is that even though I'm not everywhere with my kids, I try to make sure that I have an open line of communication. This is a point of contention for me and one of my sons, because he feels like his talent allows him to go and do things. And so he's a minor. He'll jump into stuff and then come tell me afterwards. And I'm like, "You're not going to do anything. I don't know who this person is. I don't have a phone number. I don't have a name. And I have to have that stuff." Because on both sides of the coin, and what some of y'all white people don't understand you have to do, us black people have to do. I've got black sons. My black sons, I got to know so nothing happens to my black sons by the people who I'm entrusting them to, and also by people who just see them and make assumptions about them. I've got to know everything, because if not, I refuse to have to put somebody else on a T-shirt. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not. One of my sons are not going to be on the T-shirt. You ain't gonna have me on TV crying, talking about they did this to my son. If I can help it, if God helps me, that's not going to happen. But it's real easy for us right now. It's real easy for me right now to sit on this side of this camera after watching that show and nitpick all the stuff that those parents should have done. It's easy.
Exactly.
However, there are some things that are obvious mistakes. And one of them goes back to your point, what you were saying. It's obviously wrong that if a parent has a concern about the way someone is interacting with their child sexually, the other parent should not allow that to be overridden and pushed aside. Period. She was dead wrong.
Period. Yeah. That cannot happen. I don't care what the relationship is with you and that other person. If that one parent, and again, me not having kids, I don't get to have these discussions really. However, I've raised enough of them and I've been around enough kids in my lifetime to understand, and I've been around kids that things have happened to.
Right.
And me being the guy of who wasn't watching, who dropped the ball here. And for that mother to do that and have the father feel like it's his fault because I wasn't there any longer. I think that is what really broke down a lot of how I was feeling when watching this. But also, again, the black kids with the racism stuff, like, we're going to catch that every day. You're going to catch that every day. I'm glad they caught it early. I hate the fact that, what's the boy's name? Brian blamed his mother for all these years for him being taken off the show because she was open to stand up for him.
Bro, when she did that, that's exactly what I was talking about a minute ago. The fact that sometimes you got to be the villain and it may never come out that you did the right thing. This, thank God, did.
But it came out 20 years later. So you got a real, you don't have a relationship with your mother for 20 years because she saved your life. And now you're going through therapy because you blamed her all these years. And now that you have to see it back. And when he said, I saw that and I realized that was the moment. And I'm like, bruh, at 20 years later, you finally saying, Mom, I get it. That hurt. That
hurt me as a parent, bro. Like, when watching that going, man, it may take that long. And it made me start thinking myself, bro. Like, it was times, like, there's stuff that I understand now at 42 that I still didn't understand at 22. That I went through with my pops or with my mom.
Definitely.
You know, there was stuff like that now I realize, and then there's some stuff that I still think, like, you were just wrong.
Bro, I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of beatings I took that I'm still like, nigga, y'all was wrong, and I'm never gonna forgive you.
Never. If you're watching this right now, I'm telling you now,
I love you forever. I love you forever. Like, I'm never gonna not love you, but I don't forgive you.
No, but
I didn't deserve that one.
But I understand where he's coming from as far now. He has the luxury of stuff that we didn't have, i.e., therapy. But 20 years, that makes sense.
To not understand that she was protecting you from something. And again, like, the reason I wanted to discuss this particular topic was because we have jumped on ours for so long. I was frozen for a second. I don't know where I froze, so I'm gonna have to edit this shit out. But the reason I wanted to bring this particular topic up was simply because we jump on our own so often and so many times. It's definitely time that we let it be known that, hey, it's not funny for us to clown our own if we're not gonna clown them too.
Right.
And we've got to show that same side of the coin, that we're not just here to bash ours or bash each other. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And when wrong is wrong, I'm going to bring theirs just as much to light as I bring ours to light.
Probably more. I'm just being transparent.
I want to do more of it. I'm going to start doing more because Harvey Weinstein's got tapes and movies about him. Hey, it's time to get him. But it just seems like with the Drake Bell situation, though, and I think this is going to be the last thing I want to touch on with this one, with Drake Bell going to court, Brian Peck going in. They actually had him on trial. And the fact that he had so many people, and this is one thing that we don't do in our community. We don't support our own blindly. We will make sure that we have all the facts before we give any support. Look at the Diddy situation. We have bashed. No, you don't see anybody other than Stevie J that has come out in support of
So
Diddy.
Stevie J's involved. He don't count.
Right, but everybody just stays away. Nobody's writing any letters. Nobody's saying anything nice. It was like, we just got to wait and see. We just got to wait and see. When it comes to these other folks, Drake Bell said he walked to that courtroom. The side for Brian Peck was full. It was him, his mother, and his sister.
Yep.
And then you come to find some of your favorite people have written in letters of support for
Speaking
Brian.
to the character of Peck.
Right. Speaking to his character and saying that if he did it, then he must have been coerced into it. He had to be forced into it. And there is nothing, and I'm going to say this again, not a darn thing that a kid can do that's going to force you to molest them. There's no seduction by a child. What kind of foolishness is that?
I'm increasingly proud of you right now.
Hey man, we got to sell this podcast to somebody, and the people told me, "Hey man, we can't buy you with all that stuff you say." So I'm getting better. I'm getting better, and you know what it is? I think it's because I don't drink as much. I think it's because I ain't drinking as much.
He says as he takes another shot. But listen though, you know what? While you take that shot, I will agree with you. Here's the most disheartening part of that whole thing is to be a star, for all intents and purposes, in your genre. To be a star. We're not talking about somebody who was like a throw off, because through the whole series, the only people who were speaking were bit players in the show. You know what I'm saying? Like we got some behind the scenes, some of the writers who had to split the salary. Then you got the young lady and the young man, the black kids who you might kind of remember, but that was the second run of all that.
Right.
Like throw away, whatever.
We may have to find some 30s, some 30 to 37s around there, because that was around the time. Because we were out of there by then. You were selling drugs by then, and I was doing my missionary work.
Hey, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. But listen, that was the thing. Like, so it was that was the first time we looked at somebody and went, "Whoa, he was a legit star." We're not talking about somebody, and we're not talking about somebody who had a lot to gain from stepping up when he did.
Right.
So we're talking somebody who was legit famous, who had his entire future ahead of him doing, you know what I'm saying? So that right there to me, and then to step out there and to be famous, and I guess that now that I'm talking out loud, I guess I see what you're talking about with the Diddy situation, to be famous and to have interacted positively and in entertainment with all these people, and then to feel like you're out there alone against the same people who you participated with. I'm sure Diddy, every time he turns on Instagram, sees 50 going at him and says, "Golly, nigga, we had you on the Biggie duets." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I did real songs with Big, no made up shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. But that thing with Diddy, like nobody's got his back but Stevie J.
But I wouldn't. Here's the thing, and I don't. This is again, y'all. If y'all watch this show, y'all know that I have these moments of being torn between two sides, because on one side, I believe that if you, in any way, shape, or form, harmed a child sexually, you deserve to be put under the jail. Period.
Death.
You need to be gone. But on the other hand, I'm black for real, and I believe that the justice system is set up for black people to fail. And so the problem with Diddy is that I believe some of the allegations, not most of them, honestly. I think for the most part, Diddy's a party animal who got around a whole bunch of other party animals and did some suspect shit. But I don't know that I believe anything about child rape or molestation. But
yeah, I don't think he was seeking out anybody. Like the thing about Diddy going out there hiring sex workers. I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
And you know who else hired sex workers? All them other niggas that's talking trash about Diddy.
Right.
Gilbert Arenas has openly said, "I would rather pay than to go out there and find. So as far as paying sex workers, as far as doing drugs, like,
and it's not surprising, and that doesn't affect me.
it's like dope.
The most concerning part of this, the funny part is the boy stuff, because it's hilarious. The male stuff, because that's just funny. All right, but the
them niggas couldn't tell, did he know? And
right.
sometimes
P. Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no.
Gotta tell him. Sometimes, but the problem, the only issue that's concerning is the allegations of child molestation.
Yeah.
Because of that, and because I have such strong feelings about
Right.
child molestation, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, and I'm not saying nothing. But while I'm keeping my mouth shut, and I'm not gonna condemn him over here, I'm gonna go over on this side over here, and I can see the evidence has been laid out, and say, all these white boys need to be shot. And we're not talking about me just going off somebody's word. I'm looking right now, while I'm looking at this camera, I'm looking on this screen, seeing these people who were convicted of lewd acts with children.
Right.
That were hired.
And for you to try to blame a victim in that particular situation, that's what gets me the most with the Brian Peck situation and all the letters of support he received. Like, when it comes to a kid, there is never a situation where, well, maybe the kid did up until they are 18 years of age. And in my case, I'm thinking maybe 23, 24. Because can you imagine fucking a 19-year-old, bro? Like, dude, she the same as a 12-year-old to me. Like, she ain't learned how to wash herself yet. No, it just doesn't work that way.
It's not my thing.
As an adult.
Right. You know what's funny though? Like, and by funny I mean weird. Like, funny as in strange. Like, I'm looking at this, and like, I don't remember this person, Ezel Chanel. Do you remember that name from the show? Show? I don't remember that name. But it says they were a freelance animator at Nickelodeon. They were accused of bringing multiple teenage boys to the workplace, molesting them, and showing them pornography. Here's the kicker. He was convicted of lewd acts on a minor and of showing a minor pornography in 2009, and had already been a convicted sex offender when he began working at Nickelodeon.
And here's another thing I wonder. Has anyone sued Nickelodeon yet? Because there is some culpability there on these. And I understand that it's not illegal for you to hire these people, but it is not.
It is
like it's irresponsible.
It is illegal. It's aiding and abetting, right? Because you got to remember. And
I would think so, but according to the law, they were saying as long as the parent is there, then these people can't have these contacts, and that's why they were able to hire them. But it's irresponsible for you to think that this is okay.
Here's the problem is though, bro, is that you can't allow somebody to be like I work what I do in my day job, working in certain communities, right? I help people who were formerly homeless, and I went today to an event where I was able to sit in and talk to a bunch of different people who provide a bunch of different services for that that population, the formerly homeless or the low income and veterans, right? One of the things that kept coming up was, okay, we have this shelter over here, we have this housing opportunity, da 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 da. Oh, but we don't take sex offenders. Now, it is hard for me. It is almost impossible for me to be able to wrap my head around helping a sex offender.
Right.
Now, I know that comes in different levels, and I know that you can be slapped with like you remember the show, the movie Horrible Bosses?
Yes.
You remember the dude he had to register as a sex offender because he took a leak outside. He was drunk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that happens. Like,
it
not
does.
just like that, but things like that happen. But
that's not the norm, and that's not. And normally in those incidental cases, shit gets pushed to the side again. You're not gonna have to register, but in most cases, in 98% of the cases where you actually have to register, you've done something.
Right.
And I'm not saying they don't deserve to live.
I don't know, bro. Like I'm almost there. I'm almost like I don't care. That's a hard thing to say.
And that's the thing right there. Like when it comes to babies, man. When it comes to babies, and when I say babies, I mean anybody under, because I still consider 19, 20-year-olds babies. They're still babies.
Right.
They don't understand life for real. And for an adult to take advantage, it's kind of hard for me to have any sympathy.
Right.
And I cannot have any empathy about it because I just don't understand it to my core. So I can't be empathetic about it at all. I don't have that understanding. So I can't be sympathetic either because that's a baby, man. That's a baby. And it just bothers me to a degree that I'm not comfortable with. And for you to take these children's innocence through it all, like I don't have anything else on this because I'm about to get angry drunk.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Well, I'll put it like this. Let's wrap this up, and we'll put this bow on it.
Put that bow on.
I think one thing that you pointed out rightly so is number one, we as parents have to do better and make sure that we're looking at what's best for our kids, not what's best for us through our kids.
Right.
And that can be a problem. I think parents, you should have conversations with your kids and let them know up front, like, look, I'm going to make some decisions sometimes that you're not going to agree with. And I used to have groups with kids who were in behavioral hospitals who would tell you, like, my parent did this. And what I would tell them all the time, I say, listen, when I'm an adult and I can go to Home Depot and I can go buy a new lawnmower. If I buy that new lawnmower, they're going to give me a book about this thick. And it's going to have instructions in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. And it's going to tell me everything I need to know about this lawnmower. It's going to tell me if it makes this noise, do this. When you do this, change this, do that, whatever. I had a baby, and all they did was hand me a whole human being and send me on my way. There's no instruction book. All you have as a parent is what your parents did, and you get to say, well, I like what they did here, and I didn't like what they did there. So I'm not going to do the stuff I didn't like. I'm going to try and do more of the stuff I did like. And sometimes you start realizing, like, you know what? Maybe I should have leaned into some of the stuff I didn't like.
Right.
Stuff I did like.
Some of that shit saved my life.
Right. And so when it all boils down, every parent doesn't know everything. But you should make sure you have those conversations with the kids so they understand that everything that you do is in the best interest of your kid. The problem is that some of you raggedy ass parents can't have that conversation because the best interest of your kids are not the top of your mind.
Right.
Some of y'all are sorry, and I salute this black mother on this show who said, you know what? It hurt me to my heart, and I was destroyed. I was hurt. I was torn down. But she still stood on that principle of I did it for the right reason. I'll do it again. And now, while all these people are around talking about this one did this to me, that one did that one to me, the only thing that young man has is they were mean to me.
Right.
And it could have been so worse.
I lost 20 years. I lost 20 years with my kid.
Yep.
Because I did what was best for him, and he couldn't see it, and he didn't see it until he saw exactly what I did. All he knew was they told him he couldn't come back, but he didn't understand what I was protecting him from. And again, that's a lot of times with how we deal with our parents, because again, there were some things that went on in my family that I just didn't understand at the time. And again, it wasn't nothing major. It was just why are these people around? And once I got older, I understood and realized what it was. So yeah, that's that. And that's the beautiful part of this. We get to transition. And again, I made us leave this earlier, so I'm gonna jump right back to it. Jonathan Majors, man. We talked about him before and I think I put up what he did to that white girl. Well, Jonathan Majors got probation, no jail time for Jonathan Majors. So after everything that went on, he got 12 months of anger management. How you feel? How you feel about that?
I feel like, and you're gonna love this part right here. I feel like Cat Williams might have been right.
What you mean? What you mean?
Well, because he talked about the fact that, like, who's telling you that he's ugly, this and that. But if I'm not mistaken, he did make the comment of they just kind of build you up and they take you down. For
Right.
all of that to go on and him to be sentenced to anger management classes,
Out of everything, after everything he lost,
and it seems to have come immediately after we're sure that he lost everything. You understand what I'm saying? Like when we
Right.
know that now. Wait. Did Marvel announce it? All right, they dropped them, but they didn't say anything else. Okay, so they're moving in this direction now. All right, so we sure they're going that direction. They can't come back over here to him. Okay, now we can go ahead and let them slide. And that to me seemed suspicious. Like if I was going to believe in the conspiracy of a setup to tear down a black man, this would be the one.
This would be the catalyst for it. That would be this gonna be the one. I'm gonna check this one off in
it seems too fishy. It seems too set up.
It really does. But again, like we said before, he should not have done what he did. You can't put your hand, you can't touch him, even if it's to a point where you're trying to defend yourself, but you can't pick her up and move her.
Hey man, you can't. Listen, no. See, here's the thing. This is what annoys me, bro.
Michael Jackson told y'all? What Michael Jackson told y'all? Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts.
Listen, the problem is
though,
you got to remember, man. There's a difference, and I think when we start putting everything that's on a spectrum and naming it the same thing, it becomes a problem because I think that overreaction and abuse are two different things. Wrong is wrong, and both of them can be wrong, but not to the same degree. I don't care what anybody says. Like a man who gets into an argument with his woman, and the woman is smacking him and beating him and doing all this other stuff, and he hauls off and smacks her. He's dead wrong. He's absolutely wrong and shouldn't do it.
Every time.
However,
every time
he's wrong. But he's not on the same level as the dude who went to work and had a bad day, comes home and beats his wife because she didn't cook the rice right.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Nope. He's wrong, and the other guy's wrong, but they're not on the same level. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
The hitter.
And that's not the same.
You cannot do the same thing. When I tossed that white woman into the street, I was dead ass wrong.
Right, but you're not wrong to the point of that white woman bust you in the head with a bottle.
Still should have walked away.
I'm not agreeing with that.
After she bust that bottle over my head, she was no longer a threat. Everything was over at that point. Everything was over. The only thing in me was I could not punch her. I couldn't do it. So all I was trying to do was remove her out of my way, and I could have done that in a different way.
But T, listen,
man, I could have gave her the shake move, bro. I could have gave her the dead leg and moved on around that swim move.
The point is that now if that information got out to a larger degree and they tried to equate what you did to what some man who beats his wife every night.
It's not the same thing. His old lady in the elevator.
Right. That's not the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying both of them are wrong, and but the difference is that there's a better way to handle your situation. And the other situations are, whoa, bro, you've got something internally wrong with you. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't think
for me it was a little different, but I still feel as bad as if I had socked her. I still feel as bad.
But that's because, and that alone, that internal mechanism in you alone is enough to let me know that that's different than a dude who comes home and beats his wife every night. If you're a dude who can't control his temper and just goes off about general stuff and decides you want to beat up on your old lady, you ain't.
I don't know, and I don't because there have been some stories about Jonathan that came out before, but I just wanted to make sure that we touched on this as a quick hitter. And here's my last thing on this: let Megan come out and say he did something to her.
He'll die tomorrow.
As long as y'all know, bruh, Jonathan Majors, you better be on your best behavior. You better do every day of that 52-week probation, whatever it is they got you on, anger management class. You better do every day of that, because if you do something to Miss Good,
ooh, it ain't gonna be good.
salute.
Yes, sir. All right, so
All
look,
right, so Cuzzo,
yeah, man.
we got to give the people some game, man. You got time to sprinkle a little game on the folks, man. You got something for them?
I do, and here's the thing. And I thought about this, and it's twofold. Okay, twofold, fellas. I'm going to talk to first. I'm going to talk to my homosexual brothers out there.
Oh boy,
I got 5 words for you. Make up your damn mind. Make up your mind. I had this young lady who told me a story, and she was talking about her gay friend, and then she started talking about some of the things that her and her gay friend do, and it starts out like you would expect for her and her gay friend to do. There was some shopping involved. There's a lot of gossip. There's some late nights over, I don't know, ice cream or whatever gay dudes do with other girls. I don't know, but they stuff like that, right? But then she starts talking about how he would like massage her and touch her, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought he was gay. She's like, yeah, but I mean, we like to do, and there's nothing for him to see me naked. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. But he doesn't like that. I said, oh, so why is that okay then? Because I don't like dudes, and I swear on everything I love, if a dude come out the room and he naked, we don't have a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So how do you, fellas, make up your mind. I'm not questioning your manhood at all. But what I am saying is, if you don't like women, stay away from them women. Now, to my straight brothers, you better stop believing that every one of the when your girl say she going with her gay friend, oh, he don't even want. Better watch out. The oldest trick in the book is, I don't even like women. You know what happens then? Women want to make sure. Are you sure? You should. Well, here, try some and just see if you.
brown chicken, brown cow.
I'll tell you this, and I'm gonna tell you why. I've got one daughter. I keep saying this, y'all. My daughter knows one thing about her daddy. That her daddy is completely crazy. She knows 2 things. Her daddy is completely crazy, and her daddy is very well armed. My daughter said I said, who is this guy? Oh, trust me, he don't like girls at all. I'm like, I don't trust you. I don't trust him. I can't trust you on he don't like girls. You're 15 years old. You don't know nothing about whether or not.
She don't know no better yet.
Right. And I said, you know what? Here, do me a favor. Can you go over there? What's that? Give me that box right there on my nightstand. And she go over there. You know what the box is? It's a box of bullets. That's what it is. I said, yeah, those are the bullets over there. I said, is that extra mag in that little pouch right there? Like, yes, Dad. And now she knows where this is going. Oh, and look up there in my closet up there in that box right there. Yeah, that's more bullets over there. And that's the other gun over there. And that's the other one over on that side. And then it's like, hand me that lockbox right there. Guess what's in there? Mo bullets.
And what she understands. She understands.
She understands now, because the thing is what y'all fellas don't understand is that there's a lot of dudes out there that y'all remember when Dave Chappelle said, I know thugs that walk around in high heels just to feel safe. It's some confused niggas out there. Listen to me. I did not say everybody who was gay is confused. I did not say everybody who's gay is confused. That's not what I said. I said there are some confused niggas out there. And what you don't want to happen is that your beautiful woman is going out with her confused dude, and one of them days he sees in her the same thing you see in her, and he ain't confused no more. That's the power of the booty. So my game to y'all is watch these little fairy dudes, because little fairies may turn out to be ogres, nigga, and boy oh boy, you'll be on your own, alright?
There it is.
Take it from up the text.
There it is. There it is. All right, cousin.
Yo, cousin.
We ain't been canceled yet.
Not yet.
We gotta do this shit again then.
Yes, sir. All right, boy. I love you, boy.
Love you, boy, man. I love y'all too, man. Y'all be good. Hey, make sure y'all check us out. Like, subscribe, follow, share. Hit the website up, man. Make sure y'all give us a look on the website. Order your merch. July 20.
Woo! We together again.
Hit the number. Give us a number. We'll send you an invite.
Yes, sir. www.theletsgetcanceledpod.com, man. Check us out, yo. We'll catch y'all next time. Be easy.
Y'all be good. Love y'all.